faithfully sharing value, interpreting great books from around the world. Hello, this is Sally's Book Talk. Today, we're interpreting this book called Welcome to First Grade, with the subtitle A Parent's Handbook for Kindergarten to Primary Transition. Kindergarten to primary transition means the connection between preschool and elementary education, a major turning point in a child's development. If not handled well, it can negatively impact the child's future development. Kids are about to start first grade, and many parents are actively preparing for the transition. Some parents enroll their kids in transition classes, while others find materials to tutor at home. Have you ever thought about what exactly should be transitioned and how to do it? Is it just about learning pinyin, recognizing characters, writing, and mastering addition and subtraction within 20? If you have these questions, why not listen to Principal Zwali share his experience? The author, Zuo Li, is the lifelong honorary principal of the famous Shijia Primary School in Beijing. He's also the principal of Beijing Runfang School and a children's education expert with over 50 years of frontline experience. Zhuo Li compiled his decades of teaching wisdom to write this book for parents. His students like Pu Kunxin, Lu Qin, and famous hosts Yang Lan and Jing Yidan have written prefaces recommending it. The book doesn't have big theories. Instead, it covers specific things first graders need to watch for in school and home life. I'm sure it'll help kids and parents about to enter first grade. And first grade, when Taiwan for more. All right, I've summarized this book into 2 questions for discussion. First, what preparations should parents and kids make before starting school? Second, how should parents and kids face new challenges after starting school? All right, let's first explore question 1. Preparations parents and kids should make before enrollment. When kids enter elementary school, first grade begins a long, full-time, structured learning journey that lasts 10 to 20 years. And first grade is the start of this learning journey. How well this start goes is crucial. It's not just the kids' thing, but the whole family's. The whole family enters a new life phase. Some parents think securing a school district house means they've done their duty. Some parents think they've already enrolled their kids in various kindergarten to primary transition classes. The child has basically learned all the first grade content. Now it's up to him. Indeed, parents will do their utmost to create the best starting environment for their children. Um, is that not enough? Besides these, what else should parents prepare? First, parents must arrange their lives and work to ensure they can pick up and drop off their kids on time. Primary school usually starts before 8 a.m. and ends around 3 p.m. For dual-income families, mornings might allow dropping kids off, but afternoons may not be feasible for pickup. And so parents must plan ahead, either handle it themselves, find reliable after-school care, or ask grandparents for help, ensuring someone picks up the child on time every day. Second, during first grade, parents must diligently tutor their children. It's inevitable that kids just starting first grade will struggle to adjust. For example, there will be homework after school, but many kids can't read the questions themselves yet and need parental help. Besides, parents should help with review and preview, guide extracurricular reading, and work on frequently missed problems and misspelled words. Tutoring a first grader might not take much time each day, but it can't be sporadic, doing it when you have time and skipping when you don't. Principal Zhuo suggests parents set aside at least 30 minutes daily to focus on their child's learning and school life. How do you feel about the endeavors in the Grove line? In learning, review the old to understand the new. Summarize methods, progress step by step, and help children develop good study habits. Based on Principal Zhuo's years of experience, parents should invest wholeheartedly in their children during first grade. 1 month at this stage is worth more than a semester in third grade or even a whole school year beyond sixth grade. So, tutoring should start early. Furthermore, create a good home learning atmosphere by focusing on 2 aspects. First, setting up a fixed, comfortable study space. For example, Prepare a study room or desk for the child, telling them this is where they'll do homework, adding a sense of ritual to studying. Second, create a family-wide learning atmosphere. Let's take reading as an example to discuss how to create a family reading atmosphere. First, have age-appropriate books that match the child's interests at home. Second, parents should also love reading. Book-loving parents are the best reason for children to fall in love with reading. Tadashi Matsuri, father of Japanese picture books, said that after children start elementary school, "Go do homework" and "Go read" often become parental mantras. This shows parents care about academics and know reading's importance, but verbal instruction often backfires. As a father, Matsui started reading aloud to his children when they were very young, continuing without interruption until age 10. Wit, he never once told his kids go read, yet they each developed good reading habits, showing how crucial parental example is. These are what parents should prepare, creating a secure, stable, and harmonious learning environment. All right, next let's see what preparations children need to make. For children's school preparation, what many parents think of is having kids learn pinyin, addition, or subtraction within 20, and basic English conversation in advance. Of course, these are understandable, but there are more important preparations beyond these. First, let's look at what abilities children need to adapt to first grade life. Based on his experience in foreign evaluation systems, Principal Zhuo created a 15-item checklist to predict children's adaptability to first grade.
For example, when school starts in September, children should be at least 6 years old. Distinguish objects like spheres, cuboids, cubes, recognize, write their name, and find their way home from 2 intersections away.
The specific 15 items are detailed in the keynotes. Ideally, children should meet all 15 abilities when school starts. But even if some aren't met, it's okay. Parents should determine whether unmet items stem from lack of practice or true inability, and whether they need attention and guidance. Except for the requirement that children must be at least 6 years old. Well, Principal Zuo stresses children must be at least 6. Don't rush them ahead. Some parents even resort to cesarean sections when registering their children's birth certificates. And they move the birthday before September 1st just so their kids can start kindergarten and elementary school a year early. But Principal Zhou disapproves of this, because kids who start school early often struggle academically in lower grades.
Generally, these children's learning capacity lags behind peers. This stems from developmental characteristics.
So for the child's sake, don't enroll them early. Then what about preschool classes? Principal Zhuo believes they're not mandatory. Actually, parents often get misled by institutions' fancy slogans. Kindergarten to primary transition isn't about learning first grade content early, but helping kids understand classroom rules and build focus. Preschool's purpose is to preview classroom learning styles. Parents can spot adjustment issues early and find solutions. Skipping preschool isn't catastrophic. Parents naturally incorporate learning into daily play, so kids aren't starting from zero. After enrollment, communicate promptly with teachers about your child's situation and follow their advice to catch up. So preschool attendance isn't as critical as imagined. Decide based on your child's needs. While preschool is optional, involve children in preparatory activities.
Beyond academic prep, kids need psychological readiness for elementary school.
So consciously involve them in school preparations. This greatly helps children adapt to first grade life. For example, take kids to school during registration so they visualize their new life and reduce unfamiliarity, or involve them fully when buying backpacks and supplies, respecting their choices to foster I own my learning mindset. Of course, it doesn't mean that once all preparations are done, parents can rest easy after their child enters first grade. It just means that with full psychological readiness, parents and children can better adapt to the upcoming life and face problems and confusions. So, after entering first grade, what problems and confusions might children encounter? And
And how should parents face them?
This brings us to our second topic. A big difference when children enter first grade versus kindergarten is facing exams. It's often said that exams are the teacher's magic weapon, and scores are the student's lifeline. This saying isn't unfamiliar to parents born in the 80s and 90s, as we all grew up step by step in such an educational environment. However, in today's quality-oriented education environment, parents are realizing that success isn't just about high scores, nor are scores the only measure of a child's excellence. And so, do we need to demand high scores from children in first grade? Principal Joie believes that first grade requires high expectations for children. First grade is the foundation of basic education, where children form their initial concepts of learning. If we tell them early, it's okay, scores don't matter, then children will unconsciously relax, become careless, not serious, have messy handwriting, and overlook these small issues. As children move to higher grades, those initial small problems become habits, harder to correct. Conversely, if in first grade we demand perfect scores, it sets a high bar for learning, initially giving them a motivating psychological boost, making them feel my grades are good, and I'm excellent in class. Experiencing the joy of success, they naturally want to maintain it. Therefore, encouraging kids to aim for perfect scores in first grade isn't about score obsession, but an effective incentive to help them consciously develop good study habits. So, what good study habits should children develop in first grade? Principal Zhuo suggests parents help children develop 4 habits. Habit 1. Ensure they complete homework on time. From the start, let children handle all school-related matters themselves. For example, let the child choose whether to do homework right after getting home or rest and have a snack first before starting. Once decided, stick to it. When doing homework, don't hover over them. Explain the assignments and how to approach them, agree on a time estimate, then let them complete it independently. Setting time limits here is crucial. First graders have short attention spans and may drift off. Unchecked, this breeds procrastination habits. By upper grades, improving efficiency becomes much harder. Habit 2. Have children check their own work first. After completion, should parents check it? For first graders, it's still necessary. Their error spotting ability is still weak, so parental help is needed. But before you check, make them self-check first. When you find errors, don't pinpoint them, just say there are mistakes. For example, mention if it's calculation errors, copying mistakes, misspellings, or incorrect strokes. Then have them recheck. Gradually, they'll learn to review work and take responsibility. 3. Teach children to manage time wisely. Elementary differs from kindergarten. E.g., kids can't freely use restrooms during class due to rules, which takes adjustment. Thus, teaching time management is vital. Take restroom breaks. How to use each 10-minute recess. This poses real challenges for them. Some kids play first, then rush when the bell rings, without time for the restroom. Some go straight to the restroom, then play freely. Others organize books, prepare for next class, drink water, then use the restroom when cues ease. Different choices reveal varying time management styles. After school, scheduling is another challenge. Homework first, then play, or play, then homework. Should I do Chinese homework first or math homework? Short, parents can guide their kids to try different approaches to see what works best for them. Which way saves more time? Letting kids compare and choose the best option is a key step in learning time management. Habits. 4th, teach kids organized tidying. For example, teach them to organize their study supplies. For a first grader's pencil case, 5 or 6 sharpened pencils, an eraser, and a ruler are enough. The night before, kids should prepare all these supplies. Of course, kids should pack their own backpacks too. Let kids prepare what's needed for tomorrow's classes, based on the schedule and teacher's instructions. If something's forgotten, parents can remind them, but never do it for them. Or get a small notebook for kids to record teachers' requirements in their own way. Then prepare step by step. Actually, Achieving these 4 points isn't easy. It needs parental supervision and persistence. Parents should not only make kids aware of tidying, but also discuss practical methods with them. Once kids develop tidying habits, they'll benefit for life. Good study habits will definitely help their future learning. And that's how first graders are. If you have good grades, I admire you. You become popular in class, which helps kids fit in faster, boost confidence, and increase motivation. After years of observation, Principal Zuo summarized the qualities popular kids should have. For example, have strength, like good grades we mentioned earlier. Besides, the strength could mean mastering classroom knowledge, like calculating math problems quickly and accurately, writing beautifully in Chinese class and getting praised, or having a special skill, such as singing well, playing chess, or being great at basketball. Some parents might ask, what if my child doesn't have these strengths? No worries, they're only in first grade. There's time to develop anything. If academics are weak, supplement with extracurriculars. If their perspective is narrow, take them out to museums. Seeing various exhibitions in science museums broadens children's horizons naturally. Schools also offer many club activities. Encourage kids to join, giving them a stage to showcase their potential. Actually, no capable child is without parental effort and persistence. Strength comes more from the persistent daily grind, like water dripping through stone. Parents can't be capricious, without plans, just going wherever they think. So, to build a child's strength, the most important thing is quantification. Set small goals for daily learning content and persist day after day. For example, start with 10 mental math problems daily. Another example is being playful. We ourselves have this experience, liking to be with interesting people. For adults, interesting might include humor, broad knowledge, rich experiences, etc. But for elementary students, interesting basically means being good at playing. When kids play together, we see those who love to play, are good at it, and innovate games. They're surrounded by many kids, very popular. The more people one can engage in play, the greater their ability. So, parents shouldn't underestimate those seemingly boring little games popular among kids, nor constantly interrupt their seemingly unproductive busyness. This busyness might be their charm among classmates. All right, finally, I think parents are surely concerned about how to communicate with teachers. For students, family and school education play leading roles, and these two must cooperate and complement each other to cultivate a well-rounded, excellent child. So, how should school and family cooperate? I think communication is an essential path. As parents, we might feel this way, wanting to talk to teachers about our child, but fearing to bother them or not knowing how. But anyway, when a child enters first grade, the teacher, especially the homeroom teacher, is the closest adult at school and spends the most time with them. Parents should proactively approach teachers to learn more about their child's school life. So, how to handle parents' worries or issues they don't know how to deal with? For example, adjusting seats or teachers criticizing children. Let's hear what Principal Zhou says. First, when is the best time to communicate with the teacher? Though homeroom teachers have packed schedules, communicating with parents about students' school life is part of their core duties. And generally, you can approach teachers after school, during free periods, or outside class hours. But for non-teaching times, it's best to make appointments via text or WeChat first. Then ask teachers to schedule a time and contact them punctually. Second, what should you do if dissatisfied with your child's seat assignment? How to bring this up with the teacher appropriately? Will the teacher adjust it? Many parents face this issue, wanting seat changes for reasons like seats being too far back, causing distraction, or desk mates having poor study habits that might affect their child, or seats too far sideways, potentially causing eye strain. Regarding seating, Principal Zhu advises trusting the teacher's arrangement. First, schools now rotate seats laterally every 2 weeks. Everyone takes turns near doors or windows. Rows also shift forward or backward within blocks. Second, teachers best understand classroom dynamics. Parents shouldn't over-worry. My own first grader had seating concerns. He's tall but easily distracted. Initially, second to last row, he moved to the back after a month. When he told me, I panicked. Was he too disruptive? Could he focus in back? But then he said, teacher says, only kids with good self-control sit in back. I immediately relaxed. I trusted the arrangement and applauded the teacher's wisdom. It gave my child the implicit message, you have good self-control. By semester's end, his progress clearly started with that seat change. Third, what if the teacher criticizes the child unfairly?
Should you suppress it, making the child endure injustice, or angrily confront the teacher?
Principal Zlo believes neither approach is advisable. When discovering a child feels wronged, we must carefully uncover the truth. If the teacher truly criticized unfairly, first comfort and guide the child, then calmly discuss with the teacher to understand their perspective and jointly find solutions. Oh, if the teacher was indeed mistaken, they will sincerely apologize to the child. Of course, we shouldn't encourage children to swallow grievances. Helping them see problems and learn reasonable solutions is crucial learning. Fourth, should parents strive to join the parent committee? Screenshots once circulated on WeChat showing Shanghai parents campaigning for parent committee positions. Parents flaunted their degrees and job titles to showcase advantages, as if committee membership guarantees special treatment for their child. But actually, the parent committee serves two roles: bridging communication between teachers and parents, and assisting homeroom teachers with class tasks requiring parent collaboration, like sports days, off-campus events, class parties, or decorating classrooms. Should you actively join? Principal Juo advises. First, consider availability. Full-time parents with passion willing to volunteer time may apply. Joining does increase communication opportunities with homeroom teachers. During selections or competitions, if their child matches others' level, they might have slightly better chances. But without time or energy, parents shouldn't force it. Counterproductive. A child's success depends on long-term comprehensive abilities. Occasional elementary opportunities won't alter life's trajectory. So don't overthink committee membership. That concludes Principal Zuo's Kindergarten to Primary Transition Insights, sure to ease your anxiety and help your family. Principal Zuo wants parents to understand that children can't live forever in a sheltered paradise cleared of all obstacles. They'll eventually enter society and become independent. With guidance from renowned teachers, every child can happily enter school and enjoy each day. All right, that concludes our interpretation of Welcome to First Grade. The book notes are below the audio. We'll see you tomorrow.